Hello, my name's Bryan White. I'm from Bend, Oregon, where I live with my wife and my border collies on a 130-acre orchard grass hay ranch. And I train my dogs on a 70-acre hay field. And this is where I do the bulk of my training of my dogs. I grew up in Orange County, California. Grew up on the beaches surfing, and uh, surfing was a big part of my life, most of my life, until I found sheepdogs. And then sheepdogs opened a whole different passion. My philosophy in training dogs is I try to keep it simple. I try to make it easy for a dog to understand what I'm asking him to do. I'm not always great at that, but it's a process, and I'm learning that the more simple I make it for them, the easier it is for them to learn. It's almost like trying to make what I'm thinking their idea, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And just trying to make the wrong thing difficult. And I don't mean that in a way of yelling at the dog, I mean, by positioning myself, it makes it difficult for him to say, I want to lie down. Then I would walk towards my dog to apply pressure to say, lie down, rather than just standing there and yelling at him. I guess that's one of my philosophies, and another would be to really try to be fair in anything that I'm asking him. And if I haven't taught him and I'm yelling at him, then that's not really fair. The way I want to train him is not make them so obedient that every word I say they've got to do, but make it like we're a team. It's like give and take, and sometimes I need to take, maybe other times they need to take, maybe other times they need to give. I guess that's kind of what my philosophy is in a nutshell. Well, I train them for the purpose, for me personally, of trialing. I have friends and other people that do both. They train for work. They train them to sell to people that need work dogs. I mean, I think once I train a dog, I think it could do any of that, basically. It's just my passion is the trialing and competing and measuring myself against the best. And I've always been very competitive, so for me, it's like a natural, I kind of thrive in that. I mean, I want pressure. I want that pressure on me. I seem to do better the more pressure that I get, and I've always kind of been that way. The question would be, what about the sheep and the handling of the sheep and the dog handling the sheep in respect of the sheep? Uh, that's, I mean, the sheep are another living animal, and that's a whole different equation that you throw in there. But for me, the partnership of, you've got to teach the dog to respect the sheep. And we do this sport, and it's not to abuse the sheep. It's to teach the dog how to be useful in moving sheep and shedding a sheep off to doctor it, or, sorting in pens, and you can really make a mess of that. And I've done it myself, but there's only one way to do this, and that's do it. Until you do it, there is no substitute for it. And like, you could read about the sheep and the dog, but until you do it, it's a whole different animal. I mean, if you put too much pressure on the sheep gets stressed. They'll go through pens. They'll kill themselves trying to get away from dogs. And so that's the fine line we walk, is we take it out of them, but then we leave enough in so that they can actually move the sheep. I mean, I've seen dogs that are afraid of sheep and they just won't move them. So, in sheep, they read a dog pretty quickly. And if a dog is very confident, there's nothing said, they just move. And they trust them in the same breath.
That'll do. Come here. Come by. Ah! Lie down. See, that there was not a proper way to approach the sheep. He was going to go straight at him instead of trying to go around him. Come by. He's actually doing, I don't think I've had him in a round pen for a while, so he's actually doing very well. Come by. Come by. See how I changed balance there? He changed. I'm changing balance. Come by. See how I throw? Come by when he's going. Come by when he's going right. Time. Walk up. Steady. There. Walk. Lie down. All right, girls, don't get pushy. That'll do. Come here. That'll do.
I just want to show people how awesome these dogs are and show them that they could be a very useful tool. You know, I do have several friends out where I live in Bend that have dogs to bring in their cattle, and you know that they're useful for sure, but I want to show people that there's a whole different level if you want to, that you can take it with these dogs, not just gather a pasture of cattle or sheep. I mean, you could take 4 sheep through the eye of a needle, basically, and that takes training and time, and these dogs can do it. But the demo is also to people that might be interested and I love talking about dogs. I'm passionate about talking about dogs. But I want to show people that these dogs are incredible, and if we don't keep promoting, we're going to lose the dogs as working dogs, because people nowadays get on 4-wheelers and they don't use the dogs as much as because of technology, and that would be a shame, because like I said, when you go and watch it, it's beautiful,